Okay, we're talking about Wayl issue 2, and we're discussing some more panels here. This is a splash panel, and Zaid and I are discussing an alternative approach. Over here, we're kind of seeing Abu Shakoosh's expression and getting like this full dynamic action pose, if you will. And what Zaid is trying to do is saying, we're trying to propose another alternative, which was probably leaves more mystery as to what the expressions of Abu Shakoosh will be.
Well, it's because, this is what happens when it comes to the writing process between me and Yasser, is because I write something in the script, and Mr. Yasser here goes and uses his imagination, and that's not always a bad thing, by the way.
Okay.
I must say. And this one actually came out as a very, very nice panel. However, I just wanted to kind of show him exactly what I had in mind with this particular panel, because the mystery that I wanted to leave with this particular panel actually I believe adds to the tone that we have with Abu Shakoosh in particular as a villain. And so let's see how that works out. So if we're assuming the cops are attacking him from all directions like this, everyone's got some kind of weapon that's aimed at him.
Either guns or tasers or
exactly, batons and things like that, and he's being struck in all directions. All right, the force that's on him, and you look at the difference between this and that, right? Well, you can't read. Fantastic, man. Great.
Well, we're talking the difference in terms of concept, not because that obviously took me hours to do, and Zay's just trying to show me a quick sketch. So just to clarify,
the here you've got the fact that you've got the expression, and they're beating him, but here you've got people beating an expressionless face. You've lost him to the ages there. You've lost him to the fact that what's going on, how much damage have they made? And this is important in the storyline because we know what he looks like now. We've already explored him in every other panel previous to this. We know exactly what he looks like as a jaded old man, crazy and psychotic. But it's only when we get to see him after he gets out of the hospital that we see the extent of the damage, the physical damage. And then we understand the extent of the physical damage and how it translates to the extent of the mental damage as well. Now they equalize.
But I think in this shot, that's still maintained, because what you're seeing here is him just getting struck. And what this shot does is that it creates that massive explosion of action which we've not gotten to over the past, let's say, 16, 17 pages prior to this. There's, I don't want to get into too much of the technical side, but there's dynamic, there's perspective. You get a sense of how brutal these cops are being with him and how brutal he is as a person, because it isn't mysterious in that sense. That's not the intent with this panel versus this panel. This panel is about the mystery, but what I think this does in the story is that it carries it on to the next phase, which you kind of ask yourself, what's next after this? How does Abu Shakoosh come out of something like this? And seeing his expression just kind of like imprints Abu Shakoosh in your head. And I feel like this creates a moment of, I don't want to say sympathy, but some kind of empathy, which is weird. And as we go along to the story, without giving too much, will that empathy hold or not? And I don't know. All right. So
I guess we're gonna have to answer that in the next episode of the Wayl Think Tank.
Or you'll find out when you pick up issue 2 once it comes out later this year. Drum roll.